Right everyone, this is a quick unboxing which I thought I'd do before I install this into my Discovery 2. Now if you've seen my previous stereo installation, I did a quick install guide of I think it was like a 7-inch single DIN head unit into my Discovery 2, but I found a few problems with that. It didn't have RDS, so you didn't know which radio station you were on. The volume control seems to be very hit and miss. Like when you turn it on, it seemed to go to like volume 5 really loud, which is really annoying. Had an annoying beep, although you could turn it off. It wasn't a proper Android based operating system, so you couldn't install apps on it. And I also wanted to install a DAB receiver, which you could do, but it was very expensive to buy compared to an full Android one. So I decided to plump to buy this. So this is I say it is Essgoo. This is an Essgoo 10-inch Android 14. So it runs Apple CarPlay and it runs Android Auto, and it's a proper Android based operating system, so you can install apps from the Play Store. You can choose different UIs, you know, all sorts of things. Anything you do with your phone you can do with this, you know, Spotify, whatever. So I'm just gonna, this arrived, I just got back from holiday, so this arrived. So I'm just gonna, I haven't unboxed it yet, so we're just gonna have a look, see what we get. So I went for I guess it's the top spec, I don't really know, but it's Android 14, 4G, 64 gig of RAM. I also opted for a couple of options as well, which I'll show you a bit later. So let's have a look. This is the box. There you go, Essgoo, and I'll show you why I went for this particular model. Because the idea is I want to install my green laning app, which I use, which is Outdoor Active, onto my screen. See, the other thing with the other stereo was you could do mirror link, yeah, it worked, but when you put it on the screen it was the same size as the screen on my phone, so it was completely pointless. That really annoyed me. So let's have a look what we got here. Instructions. Right, I'm an engineer, I don't need them. So a load of cables, which I'll come to in a minute. Actually, let's do the cables now. So you have, I'll show you the connectors on the back. So these are definitely the outputs for the you know, for your amps. You've also got video out and video in, auxiliary left, just connect to your amp connector, subwoofer, etc. Those kind of things. So that's that. That I think is for one of the rear cameras. You have a microphone which you can use taking calls. A USB adapter, which I'm gonna probably not use this, but I've ordered an inbuilt USB, which I'm going to try and fit into the console and make it a bit more factory rather than this, you know, just like flopping around. You have the aerial for the DAB. No, it's not for the DAB, that's for GPS. Yeah, that's the GPS aerial. So we'll have a look at that later. Then you've got the main loom. So this will be for your power, for the buttons on the steering wheel, illumination, antenna, and obviously all your outputs for the speakers. Now I'm probably not going to use that because most cars now come with an ISO connector, so yeah, you need, that goes into the back of the head unit, and then you'll have to split this and resolder or whatever into your ISO connector. Yeah, I can do that, I can solder, no problem at all, but it's very time consuming and a bit messy, so if you ever want to take it out it's a bit of a pain. So what I bought was this. So that's your ISO connector to an Android 16 pin connector, and you can get these on eBay just for like £6. Exactly the same, as you can see. Walk that way up. Exactly the same, but this will save time. Plug and play, easy. Right. Oh, I've got another connector. Another USB. Yep, another USB for some reason. So now we have here, we have some brackets, I guess, to bolt it in on the side. As I say, this is a single DIN. So here is the actual physical unit itself. Just take that out. So this would fit in. I'll do this on the camera, like that way, I suppose. This is the front, and it sits in like that. Okay. Here you can see where the connectors are. The various connect plugs I just showed you, and you've got one for GPS. The main loom there, and a little fuse. And this is the front. As you can see, you've got a little ribbon cable which you plug into the front screen, and then the front screen clicks on here, and this is pivoted, so you can basically rotate it. This is why I bought it. So you can rotate this 30 degrees that way, or you can have it in landscape or portrait mode, which is what I want, so you can face it towards the driver. Really good. And then this is the screen. So that's the screen. So you have some few buttons on here. You know, obviously you've got your power, just like an Android, you know, backwards, home, and then the volume buttons and a reset. Okay, and then the back of it looks like that. So these are the release brackets for the bracket to hold it in, and the connector for the ribbon cable is there. A pack of screws for the brackets. Now I bought this off AliExpress for £85 delivered. I mean, I can't believe that's that cheap. And the reviews, obviously I do my research, the reviews were pretty good. So now that £85 also included, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted DAB. So this is, so I also bought a DAB Plus receiver, which basically just connects via USB. So you have a USB cable there, more instructions not to read, and then this is the actual DAB receiver. Oh, there. Sandwiched in there. So there's the DAB Plus box. Put that on there, look. Okay, and you just plug the aerial into there, USB into the other end, that powers it up. And then I believe you just install a DAB APK. If you're not familiar with Android, an APK is like a software installation kind of program. You just download the APK from the Play Store or wherever, and you just install it. I think the one I'm going to do is called DAB Z, something like that, but I'll show you that a bit later when I come to install it. And then you just have the cable which runs up to the, let's open this. Yeah. So this is your aerial. Now I'll probably use this to start off with. You just stick this to the inside of the windscreen. I don't know how good these are, to be honest. I'm probably going to get a proper external aerial and mount it to the roof rack. That's slightly better reception then. So that's the DAB which I got. And what else I bought is, now this is a rear camera. I already have a rear camera on the truck, which you probably saw me install. If you didn't, have a look in the top right from my video. I've been installing that. So as I have one already installed, I'm just going to use that. But I thought, you know, for the sake of a couple of quid, which is what this was really, I don't know how good it is, but I did notice when I was off-roading or green laning last weekend in Wales, when I was going up some really steep rocky stuff, you can't, you know, if your truck's pointing forward, you can't, literally can't see anything below you, so you don't know what you're up against if your nose is pointing up. So I think I'm going to mount this on basically the underneath of my bumper, and then I'll put it on a switch so I can actually see underneath my bumper and what my wheels are, you know, going to be up against. So this has various cables. So you've got the cable there, and then the long cable which comes from the back, which, you know, I don't particularly need, but I'll install this and see how we go. That probably won't be tomorrow, but it will be later, and I'll probably do a separate video just on the front camera if anyone wants to look at that. So there, that's the unboxing. I'm just going to take the old stereo out of my truck now, and then tomorrow we'll have a go at installing it. As I say, it really should be plug and play, hopefully, and hopefully we'll install some apps, get it all up and running, and see how it goes. So if you want to see that video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for many more, especially if you're into the Land Rovers and Discovery 2s and Discovery 3s. Yeah, and feel free to comment, like, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.